I'm watching these videos that came out after the fact. People are on the island with their guns out. You know, what the hell did you do that would require them to come on the island with guns drawn?
That was that was my first thought was, first off, they never laid eyes on me. So I didn't have any, I didn't, they never said, hey, freeze, you're under arrest or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I would have had to give myself up. So I'd already gone through 4 days of complete hell to get on the island. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and see how long it takes for them to do their job, to catch me, see me, and, to get me to stop. So I started recording again. And I never let the camera stop recording. I ran out of, I had several backup chargers, and I was just recording. And then they got so close to me one time, they actually smelled skull where I was up in a tree. And I had this whole thing recorded. I remember them on their body cams. One of the officers saying, I could smell skull. I knew, in that point, that was the closest they ever got to me, but they never knew I was above them looking down. And and I remember hearing him say, he goes, we could be right beside him and we'd never know it. But what they were doing was one group of guys were coming in from the left, the other one was coming in from the right, trying to flush me out. And then the third group was coming in. They were all closing in. So what I was doing was listening to the wildlife. When the birds, and by the way, there's bird sounds on that island that I've never heard in my life.
Really?
Anywhere else in the world. So
wow.
There's species of wildlife still on that island that probably don't exist anywhere else but that island. So what I would do was I would listen. When the wildlife got quiet, I knew they were far enough away for me to move. So I was continue recording. And I could, I wanted to, like I said, I never watched anybody's videos all the way through. And it was still exciting to me to see this, that Disney would let something at Disney be this dilapidated and not be, destroyed and a new feature put in.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I kept the cameras going. And many times in my videos, I was recording them, and there was a guy in an orange rain jacket, and he was, I would say, the ringleader, but he was wearing the wrong color. I mean, you could see him but coming through it, and he was the only one that didn't use a machete. I don't know if he was actually Orange County or actually a Disney security, because I felt like he knew the island pretty well. He was going off the trails in areas that the other guys weren't. But in my favor, he was wearing orange, so I was able to keep him at a distance. He was the only one with those problems.
That's crazy. I can't believe that. How many guys do you think that they had on the island at one point?
That 15.
15.
15. They even had special force come in, because at that point, if I was a terrorist, what I was doing there, they only had a picture of me on a game camera. And and what was funny was I heard him say, he has cowboy boots on. His cowboy boots on. And they didn't know. That was all they knew. I could hear him say he has cowboy boots on. And so they were probably thinking, I mean, I can only assume what they were thinking. I mean, COVID, somebody's on an island. And it wasn't too much longer that I heard a helicopter come by. And I was like,
I was just going to ask, wasn't there a helicopter?
There's no way there's a helicopter out here for me. For sure. They don't know if I'm still here, So that was my first plan of escape. Was I called a girl from New York. I said, call Disney World right now, block your number, and tell them I've made it off the island, to call off the search. The game's over. The hide and seek, they lost. She's like, I don't know if I should do that. They might track my call, this, that, and other. I said, just do it, Carolyn, call them. So anyway, I couldn't continue the conversation because they were closing in. So I said, I got to get a click. And I said, by the way, I think there's a helicopter coming in. And she's like, no, you're mistaken. They're not going to have a helicopter. I said, I got to go. And by that time, the treetops were, the leaves were shaking. They were so close to the trees, the leaves were shaking, and I was like, no, they're after me with a helicopter now. And at that point,
that is insane.
I'm so invested at this point. It was like, I'm not giving up. I'm going to continue to record, and let's just see how far this goes. I'm already in this deep. Let's just see what happens. So I remember when it rained, I would take these huge banana leaves and I would funnel water. I was catching water and drinking it because I was so dehydrated. Like I said, I was 4 days in the heat, pulling the boat, reconning it in. I was already borderline dehydrated. So at that point, I had no water rations. I had my boat, and they kept saying, come to the beach. We have your boat. There's no way off the island.
Oh, they had they had a loudspeaker.
Yeah, they had a loudspeaker, and they kept repeating themselves. We have the island surrounded. Well, I know you have the island surrounded. Come to the beach. You're not under arrest. Well, if I'm not under arrest, I'm going to continue to do what I'm here for. I'm getting this footage, man.
Yeah.
That's it. I had 4 days hotel. Jessica, I had her on the phone. I was like, Jess, you're not going to believe what's going on. She's like, what? I said, they have a helicopter after me. She said, no, they don't. There's no way they have a helicopter. And I was like, I promise you they have a helicopter. So the day goes on, and I'm thinking, how long does a helicopter go before it runs out of fuel? It has to run out sooner or later. They're going to have to call off search. I figured, well, if I could wait to shift change, I could come off the island undetected. So what happened was the shift change came and went. They brought a whole new group of people that were fresh, ready to go again. And at this time, my energy, if you're like playing a video game, my energy level was down real low at this point. Hunkered down, and it rained on, froze the night before. And I was thinking, and mosquitoes on that island after that rain were on another. They were big enough. They were like little hummingbirds, man. You could hear them buzzing.